Hey guys, Rob here. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to overcome the your price is too high objection or any other money objection in your sales for that matter. And if you watch all the way to the end of the video, I'm going to walk you through like the breakdown, the psychology behind why this objection crops up, and also like what to do, step by step, what to do to help you close the sale and to help you, ethically deal with the person who you're trying to sell to. Now, I've actually used these techniques to help me, close 2K deals, 3K deals, 5K deals, bring significant amounts of money into my business. But let me just tell you, it wasn't always like that. In fact, I absolutely sucked at sales. And there was a time where I just had to really focus on it and learn from a lot of great people, a lot of well-known people as well, a lot of lesser well-known people as well. To really improve my skills and to really sort of communicate the value of the product that I'm selling. So I hope you find this video very helpful, but let's get straight into it. Now, when somebody says to you on the phone or, even in person as well, like we can't afford that or your price is too high, the knee-jerk reaction of most salesmen is to actually discount the price. But when you discount the price, you actually lose value in your product when you do that, because it shows that your product isn't actually worth what you are selling it for. So that can be, when I say product, I could be meaning product or service. And when you actually break down the psychology behind what is happening when a person says, well, your price is too high, or, you're one of the higher people on the market, or, I can't afford that. What they're actually saying is the value that I'm getting from the sale doesn't correspond with the price I'm going to pay. So if you picture it like a seesaw, we've got price on this end and we've got value on this end, okay? We want the seesaw to show the value like that in terms of the price which you're going to be selling at. However, if a person says your price is too high, often what they're perceiving it as is the price is significantly higher than the value. Now, there's a few key ways to get around this. First of all, most importantly, before I talk about what specifically to say to people, what I would be doing is making sure I'm actually selling to the right crowd. So I used to offer career coaching services, and basically I targeted it first of all at like students and people who were fresh out of university. And what used to happen to me was the value equation used to go completely like that. People used to perceive the price was way too high for the value that was offered. But it wasn't that the product was bad. It was just I was targeting the wrong people. There's not many students that actually care early on about climbing the career as high as possible, or people who've just finished university and just come out of university fresh into the career world. They haven't worked long enough to understand like the value of actually climbing up the career ladder. So that was my fault there, and that's the reason why it was very, very difficult to see and to sell to those people. However, if I was going to sell to people who were in their 25s to 35 and they were looking to climb the career ladder, and I was teaching them how to get a higher job with a better paying position and to get a job which really fulfills them, the value drastically increases in comparison to the price. Okay, so let's just say you are actually selling to the right group of people and you're still coming up against the your price is too high option, or I don't have money for this right now. What we need to do now is to determine if the person is telling this to us because it's just an easy excuse to go to. So prospects lie all the time. Prospects, potential clients, people in general, we let out little white lies all the time. I do it, you do it, the majority of the public do it. Think about like people who are handing out flyers on the street. Often you would take like a massive detour just to avoid them, to avoid getting stuck in conversation with them. And the same thing works when you actually accidentally do get approached by them. You say things like, oh, I'm a bit too busy at the moment, oh, I'm in a rush, or I'm on my lunch, none of which are actually true. The real objection is I just don't want to speak to you and I'm not interested in what you're selling. Okay, so let's pay attention to that very example there and how we give off all these random excuses to cover the actual reason of why we don't want to speak to the person. The same thing works in sales. And when a person tells you your price is too high or I haven't got the money, we must then determine if they are actually telling us the truth or if there's maybe something else there that we need to deal with, but they have basically just threw this objection out because it's like the easier one to go to. So how we do that is we say something like, I completely get where you're coming from, but I just want to ask you though, is this something you actually want to do? Is this a product you actually want? Is this a service you actually want to go through with? Because that's absolutely fine if you don't want to do something like this. You know, I take yeses as easy as I take no's. What I'm doing here is I am separating the money objection from like the potential real objection. I'm letting them know, look, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you say no to me, but what's the real reason that's going on here? And this person will generally reply one of two ways. They will say something like, no, it's really like, I do actually want the service, it's just like I can't pay for it, I just don't have the money for it. In which case you can start going down the route of, you know, making it easier for them to buy. Is there something that you can do which is going to help them? So you could say things like, well, how can we make this work for you? And if they're like, I don't know, you could say, would a payment plan potentially help here with your situation? And you can go down the route of coming up with all sorts of creative ways to help the person actually afford the service, particularly if they really want to buy it as well, which is completely the opposite of what most salesmen do. They usually like ramming it down the throat. They're like, you know, you have to buy it right now, have to buy it right now, have to buy it right now. We don't want to do that. I never teach my clients to do that. I just don't believe that's the way to do things. I believe, you know, we build relationships with people and then genuinely diagnose the situation and see if they actually want to buy and if they are actually getting value out of something, right? If when you ask them if they really want to do the service or buy the product and you tell them, you know, don't be afraid to say no, you won't hurt my feelings or anything like that, and they say no, then we want to ask them why they are thinking that. What value are they not getting out of it? And this is our fault at this stage because we obviously haven't communicated the value to them in the correct way, in an adequate manner. So what we can do then is we can revisit all of their problems that we have been noting down throughout our call with them or throughout our previous meetings and say, look, you know, these are the problems you have and these are the services we provide which are going to help solve those problems. You've already spoken to this person, tried to do this thing, and none of it's worked so far. When is it time for you to actually get a service that's going to help solve this problem rather than spinning your wheels? And when we're saying something like this to the person, we are showing the value of our service. Picture it like a jigsaw of fitting the right pieces into the right slots. We're saying these are your problems. We're reiterating what our service is and how it can solve that problem, and it fits perfectly like that. And you know, not every single person's going to buy, and we always want to make sure we're looking out for like the well-being of the customer and the client as well. But also we want to make sure that first of all we're making it as easy as possible for the person to actually get the service if money is a genuine concern. And secondly, we want to make sure that we are communicating and articulating our service in the best possible, easy to understand way as possible to the customer to help them see the true value, to help them see that it can actually, in fact, solve their problems. And that is how we overcome that price objection. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please leave a like, please subscribe to the channel so you can see more content like this. I actually run a business which helps businesses and coaches and consultants get leads through LinkedIn. If you want to join my email list and see a free training video on how to do that, please click the link in the comments below. I will link a link saying free training and go there. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.